Recording. Yeah, so why meditate? Why do you meditate? Why do I meditate? I think it's an important and a kind of an ongoing question, and at least have found that to be. Maybe you start meditating for a certain reason, fix your anxiety or something. And maybe after meditating a while, maybe even years later, you find that you're meditating for other reasons, to be a more loving person, say. That changing motivation may have revealed itself over time and also may have changed because of your meditating. What that then invites us into as we get into the practice. And that will happen, I think, or at least it's likely to happen if you commit ourselves to practicing. Namely, that we may start out with one motivation and then our motivations or intentions eventually begin to be influenced by the practice itself. So maybe you don't have a long history of practicing. Maybe this is your first time meditating even here. But still, the question applies to all of us, just the same. And it's not the kind of question like to solve the puzzle. It's an invitation into inquiry and discovery and purpose. Lawrence Lashan, in his book, How to Meditate, says the answer to why meditate runs through the literature written by those who practice this discipline. In it, we find people writing that we meditate to recover, to come back to something of ourselves that we once dimly or unknowingly had and have lost without knowing what it was or where or when we lost it. So let's ask ourselves that question, why do I meditate? In order to invite the question and allowing us to maybe breathe into the question, or perhaps even let the question kind of breathe into us, I'd like to voice this poem by John O'Donohue, who was an Irish Catholic priest who deeply explored Celtic spirituality and meditation. This poem is called Morning Offering, and this is an abridged version of it. I place on the altar of dawn the quiet loyalty of breath. May my mind come alive today to the invisible geography that invites me to new frontiers. To break the dead shell of yesterdays, to risk being disturbed and changed. May I have the courage today to live the life that I would love, to postpone my dream no longer, but do at last what I came here for, and waste my heart on fear no more. There is in this poem, I think, a sense of returning, of reconnecting to purpose and to the essentials, as well as there is a challenge to be courageous and intentional in that. May I have the courage today to live the life that I would love. And with all this, it's okay if you don't have an answer to this question, why do I meditate? You can come to the practice without any real sense of how you got here or what your intention is in practicing. Just know that intention and purpose and meaning will emerge as a result of the practice. In the 12-step addiction recovery program, there's a saying that I like: take the body and the mind will follow. Kind of act as if. There's other sayings that express similar ideas that go in the other direction. Where the head goes, the body follows. The point is to do the practice, and the practice will also be doing you in some way. And living mindfully requires us to pay attention on purpose in this moment. And this can be hard work. And it demands a kind of discipline and commitment and consistency. to grow in the practice of meditation and to become more mindful in everyday life, it's extremely helpful to sit as frequently as you can. If you have not done so already, perhaps it's time to set an intention to practice more consistently, daily even. I'm talking about intentionally choosing to sit for a certain period of time and then developing a consistent pattern and schedule of practice. The research about benefits of practicing mindfulness point to the importance of repetition. And if you don't have 20 or 30 minutes every day, then practice for 10 or 15, even 5 minutes. But do it every day, or at least most days. Longer practice periods are also helpful for cultivating and deepening your practice. So you might also plan that weekend retreat. By the way, we have one coming up in April. But don't defer your regular ongoing practice until you have time to do a longer or more intense practice periods. Just start. Come back to it over and over. A little, a lot is better than a lot, a little. So with that, let's practice together today. And we'll do a very simple sitting practice. And you might be intentional even in the way you sit. Support a sense of groundedness, particularly in the low body, feet are flat on the floor, butt in the chair or on the ground. And having a sense of relative ease as well. Lengthening up through the spine, placing your hands somewhere that are reasonably comfortable, resting on the thighs or gathered together in the lap. You can close your eyes or just lower your gaze. And then just tune into the breath, the natural cycle of breathing, not trying to manipulate the breath in any way. And notice yourself sitting here in this moment, breathing. And notice where you feel that, have the sensation of breathing in the body, maybe movement in the chest or abdomen, sense of air flowing in and out of the nostrils, so that we're connecting with the body and the mind, and that we're seeing that there's a relationship and a oneness there, and that we're not just in our heads. And each time you notice that the mind is distracted or pulled into a thought or an emotion or a storyline, just acknowledge it, and then with intention and purpose, let that just go downstream and come back to noticing the breath and the body sitting here. And we'll do this for several moments until you hear the sound of the bell indicating a close to this period of sitting. Let there be in you an enthusiasm for your practice. I don't mean you need to be liking it, or enjoying it or feeling all warm and cuddly and calm. And that doesn't always happen in the practice, or maybe not even at all for times. But still, we can have an energy, in that sense, enthusiasm for practicing as best we can in this moment and sticking to it, not getting pulled in, or when we do find ourselves pulled into a thought, and having the determination to let it go downstream. The good, the bad, the ugly, that there's a certain kind of indifference to the passing of emotions and thoughts and physical sensations. And that we can commit to that. And even when we find we're not committed to it, once we realize it, we can just recommit again. And notice where the mind is right now, and wherever it is, whatever is carrying you away in the way of thought or emotion. Just for this time of sitting, put it down. Just put it down. Even if it comes right back, just put it down again. So that we can practice being present without reacting to thought, emotion, sensation. If you like the imagery, not of putting it down or letting go, maybe can use O'Donoghue's words. Place it on the altar, the quiet loyalty of breath. I place on the altar of dawn the quiet loyalty of breath. May my mind come alive today to the invisible geography that invites me to new frontiers, to break the dead shell of yesterdays, to risk being disturbed and changed. May I have the courage today to live the life that I would love, and to postpone my dream no longer, but do at last what I came here for, and waste my heart on fear no more.